Um, Hi, everyone. I am thrilled to be able to speak to everyone this evening about Leadership Diverse Schools. I did write what I wanted to say down because I know me and I will go off on tangents. So I want to give a little bit of my background because it's really important to know where I've come from, to know where I'm at today. So my name is Katrina Rothrock. I was born and raised here in York County. I grew up probably 4 days a week, was in the Nazarene Church, was involved with youth groups, spent summers on work and witness trips in South America. I graduated from Dallastown. I attended Clarion University. My senior year, my parents divorced. I moved back to York. I worked for the Lincoln Intermediate Unit. I met my husband and got married. I then moved to Western Pennsylvania. My daughter was born there, so we decided to return back to York. We built a home in Spring Grove. My second child was born, and I still live with my family here in Spring Grove today. I have been teaching in Dover Area School District for the past 17 years, and I've been a union president, grievance chair, dean of students, intervention specialist, learning support teacher. And I'm sure you're wondering, why am I sharing all of this? Because I truly believed a year ago, back during the summer, that I was well-rounded, diverse. I truly felt that I didn't fit that stereotype of York Countyans, where we're born here, we're raised here, we never leave. And we don't like change, because that's truly what people have to say about people from York County. And I never believed myself to fit that mold or that category. So last year, actually it had been 2 school years ago, I was struggling with a student and making connections with a family. And I reached out to our social worker in our district, who was instrumental in building that relationship, building that rapport. And in the process, she said to me, Trina, I'd like you to come be a part of our new committee in Dover, the Unity Committee. And how about you participating in Leadership for Diverse Schools? So it was all new, the committee was new. I had never heard of Leadership of York before, did not know what LDS was, but I signed up. So I remember sitting in the opening session and I was listening to the welcome from Melissa and Eric. And I remember them saying to me, there's times that you're going to feel uncomfortable. And I remember thinking, really? I was pretty confident that I was well-rounded again and had great experiences, that I felt that I was a pretty diverse person. I expected LDS to be about race, culture, learning exceptionalities, age discrimination. And then individuals started to continue to introduce themselves. And I heard people talking about their pronouns and words like gender and identify as and sexual orientation and religion and atheism. Then they started talking about a retreat. And I thought, really, I have to stay with someone I don't know? Uncomfortable was not the word. I was more than uncomfortable. I left there that night thinking, I don't know that I can do this. I wasn't sure, because it was really putting me out of my comfort zone. So I went into the retreat absolutely nervous, very anxious. But I have to tell you, when I walked out of that retreat, I was a different person. I was starting to really think, do I know myself? Do I know why I say what I say, why I believe what I believe, why I act or react in ways that I do? Because earlier I said, I believed I truly had an upbringing and experiences that just made me a diverse person. And there was an activity that they had us do, and I think it was called Circle of Friends. And we were forced to look at who are the people that we associate with, friends, colleagues, my principal, the dentist, just certain things. And I was amazed that I could answer some of the questions, but I realized that all of my circle of friends were white, middle class, married with children, college degrees. There was nothing diverse about my life at all. I had no diversity in my social circle, in my family. And I was like, wow, it really made me start to think. And when I walked away from retreat, I remember doing some research and reading, and I had come across the definition of unconscious or implicit biases, that they are those learned stereotypes that are automatic, unintentional, so ingrained in who we are. And unfortunately, those core beliefs that are so ingrained, the influence that I could have on other people with them was powerful to me, to understand that, oh my goodness, how I do that is just so powerful. So I began to realize that there's things that I thought that made me diverse, that made me respectful and accepting of others, were the same things that I think promoted my implicit biases. And so I really started to search myself, to truly understand why I am who I am and what influences that. So through LDS, Eric and Melissa have challenged me to look at gender, race, religion, sexual orientation, age, exceptionalities, neurodiversity, societal norms, language, childhood experiences, and wanting to understand what all of those things mean to individual people, how it's made me be more conscious of how I speak, what I say, how I react, and how that influences other people in my life. I came home from every LDS meeting and called my best friend, Shannon, she's a psychologist. And I would be like, I learned this tonight, or I never looked at it like this. Or I'd come home and my student or my kids would say something in my house, or my husband would say something. I'm like, well, have you ever thought about it from this point of view? Like, it really started to become a part of who I was and what I did on a regular basis with people. And it was contagious. Like, my girlfriend was like, I love when you call me. Like, she'd look forward to me calling on my drive home so I could tell her all of the awesome new things and the way that Eric challenged me to look at the world and the speakers that they brought in, and challenged me to look at how I saw things and how I acted and what I said. And one of the things I've realized is education about it truly is the first step. And I'm a teacher, and that's important. And I also realized, though, that when we get a chance to have graduation, which I'm so excited that to see my classmates again, it was a great experience where LDS makes it a safe place. I could ask those questions that I couldn't ask. And I missed one of the sessions, and I've got a list of questions, and Eric knows that I've reached out to him and said, hey, can we go for a drink one night? Because I have a list of questions for Eric, and he doesn't know that yet, but he does now. Because I want to be able to sit down and talk to him. I've got more questions and things that I want to know about to make me a better person. And so I know that I'm going to graduate from LDS. And it's not making me completely free of all of those biases. I know that. But I know that I am making a conscious effort to think before I talk, reflect on what I've said, to make sure that my actions and my thoughts and those core personal beliefs that have been ingrained in me for so long are changing, and I'm looking at them different. And what LDS taught me is that we're just all human beings. And whether we believe the same thing, have the same opinion, doesn't matter. We're human beings and we need to respect each other. And I think about that sometimes, and I think, how simple is that? But how complex is that at the same time? And so LDS empowered me to go back to my own school district. I started a Dover Elementary Unity Committee. I originally thought big. I'm going to get parents, I'm going to get students, staff, But I realized I needed to train the staff first. I couldn't bring parents in or students in till I got the staff on the same page, that whole education piece. So I started during faculty meetings, in service days, working with our staff. My principal was wonderful and let me start working with our aides and our support staff. So all of those incredible activities that Eric made us go through and Melissa had us go through that made us really think and reflect, I started doing with the staff in my building. And what a change. What a change in how we reacted to our students and things that happened on the playground with our support staff, because we encouraged them to look at our students in a different way, to consider where do they come from, what their home lives are like. We have to think about those things outside of what we see at school. Part of my plan also was we're going to be doing diversity with the board. I was supposed to have about 5 hours with the board over the summer for their retreat. But unfortunately, because of COVID, that's been pushed off till next school year. And I'm still on the list to be able to work with the board. And then also I wrote as part of the plan to work with our administrators to go through the different, the values of leadership and going through some of the activities that our teams within our class presented about empathy and all of those different characteristics of a leader. So I will be doing that as well. So I'm taking what I've learned and I'm sharing it little pieces at a time, because I realized something. We can't change a 20, 40, 60, 80-year-old belief system within a few hours of training. It's impossible. We can't do that. You can't change someone in just a couple of hours. But what I truly believe is if we're vigilant and consistent, and if we educate people about awareness, acceptance, and how to take action, I think that's the way we go about changing those deep-rooted implicit biases and individual belief systems that I know that LDS, through the compassion of Eric and Melissa, have made me more aware of, accepting, and wanting to take action to educate whoever I come in contact with, colleagues, administrators, community, parents, students, friends. And why am I here tonight? One, I was asked to share my experience, but also I want to stay involved. I know that I need to change my circle. I need to diversify myself even more. And so I'm here to find out how I can stay involved and continue to share and educate, because that truly is the way that we're going to change the world. So thank you so much for letting me present. Eric, thank you for an amazing experience. And I too wish that I could just continue to be a student over and over and over again, because there's just so much to learn and so much to take in and so much to learn from other people. But thank you so much. I am truly a teacher who has forever been changed.